What if we're not meant to escape violence, but to carry it with us, forever? Are we, as a species, doomed to repeat war, no matter how much we suffer, how many die, or how loudly we say, never again? Vinland Saga isn't just a brutal tale of Vikings. It's a mirror, one that reflects back our darkest instincts and our deepest hopes. At its heart is Thorfinn, a boy born into war, raised by vengeance, and eventually broken by the very violence he once glorified. There's a moment, late in the series, where Thorfinn says something that changes everything. "I have no enemies." In that single line, we hear not just a personal transformation, but a philosophical challenge. One that echoes across history, across nations, and right into your own heart. War feels eternal. From ancient tribal conflicts to global wars, to civil unrest in our own time, humanity has always found reasons to fight. Religion, territory, revenge, fear, justice, honor. In Vinland Saga, war is more than background. It's the soil Thorfinn is raised in. He witnesses his father killed in front of him. That trauma doesn't break him, it reshapes him. War becomes his life's purpose. Killing Askeladd, his father's murderer, becomes the only thing that gives him identity. But this is where the show asks a hard question. What happens when your reason for killing disappears? Nietzsche called this the will to power. The idea that humans are driven not by survival or happiness, but by the desire to assert power over their world. When Thorfinn loses that object of revenge, he's not free. He's lost. This is where the real war begins. Not one with swords or kings, but the inner war. The struggle to live without hatred. The existential crisis. If I am not a warrior, what am I? Existentialist philosophers like Sartre argued that we are radically free, that no matter our past, we always have a choice. Thorfinn chooses peace, but not out of weakness. It is, in fact, the most difficult path he could take. We often talk about peace as an ideal, but how many of us truly understand what it demands? It's easy to talk about forgiveness when the wounds are small, but what about the deep ones? The betrayals, the violence, the generational pain we inherit? Choosing peace in those moments feels unnatural, almost impossible. But that's what makes it powerful. It's not instinctual, it's intentional. And that means it's human. Thorfinn doesn't choose peace because he's better than us. He chooses it because he has nothing else left. And in that emptiness, he finds freedom. In a quiet scene on a beach, Thorfinn reflects on the years he spent killing. His eyes don't burn with vengeance anymore. They reflect shame, but also clarity. This moment reminds us, to choose peace is not to erase violence. It's to carry it, consciously, to take responsibility for the pain we've caused, and to decide that we will not pass it on. That is the existential choice. To define ourselves not by what was done to us, but by what we choose to become. As viewers, we might ask, what traumas do we carry that we pass on? Perhaps not with swords, but with words, with silence, with fear. Thorfinn's arc is not about redemption in a heroic sense. It's about becoming human again. And humanity here is defined not by power, but by empathy. Let's return to that line. I have no enemies. It's not just pacifism, it's a moral revolution. To see even your oppressor as human is to reject the logic that drives war itself. This echoes the teachings of thinkers like Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend." Thorfinn's declaration echoes this truth, but in a world soaked in blood. That makes it even more powerful. This is not weakness. This is resistance in its purest form, a refusal to become the thing that hurt you. The show doesn't romanticize peace. It shows how hard it is, how peace demands courage, patience, and above all, the willingness to suffer without retaliation. In this, Thorfinn becomes something more than a warrior. He becomes free. This kind of freedom is different from power. Power bends others to your will. Freedom means knowing who you are when no one else is watching. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and philosopher, once said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." That's the heart of Thorfinn's journey. He loses his sword. He loses his cause. But he gains himself. And in doing so, he reclaims that final freedom. So now we return to our question. Is humanity doomed to repeat war? Maybe. The patterns are there. The psychology is there. The history is undeniable. But Vinland Saga suggests perhaps we are not doomed, but conditioned. We are raised with myths of heroes who conquer, not those who forgive. We are taught that justice comes through punishment, not reconciliation. That security is built on strength, not understanding. But what if we taught something different? Thorfinn's journey is the blueprint. It doesn't deny violence, it walks through it, but it refuses to glorify it. Instead, it seeks something deeper. Vinland. Not a place, but an ideal. A land where war is not the answer. This isn't naive, it's necessary. Thorfinn tells us, in his silence and in his scars, we don't need to be warriors. We need to be people. That transformation, from revenge to peace, from warrior to builder, is perhaps the only thing that can break the cycle. But it starts with you, with us. Vinland Saga doesn't give us easy answers. It gives us a question we have to live with. What does it mean to truly forgive in a world shaped by violence? So I'll leave you with this. If even a child soldier raised in war can choose peace, what might you choose the next time someone wrongs you? We may not stop war across the world, but maybe we can end it in our own lives. One choice at a time. One moment of empathy. One refusal to pass on the pain. Maybe we'll never see a world without war, but every generation gets a choice to build myths of violence or myths of peace, to teach children how to hate or how to heal. Maybe Vinland is a myth, but myths shape people, and people shape history. So even if it's just a dream, we should fight for it, not with swords, but with stories, with choices, with empathy. And if enough of us do that, maybe Vinland isn't so far away after all.